Today I'm with Sean Myers. We're going to cook a couple of G Farms grass-fed bone-in ribeyes that we've got here today. So what we're doing is the 5 steps to the perfect steak plate. First is thawing. You don't want to add any heat in the thawing process. You want to simply set your steaks out and let them come to room temperature. The next step is tenderizing. We want to be sure and keep this separate from flavor. This is where a lot of people really miss and make the mistake of overlapping what they think is flavoring and tenderizing combined. Tenderizing is its own step. So we've salted these steaks. We've got a good liberal coat on both sides. When we rinse that off and pat it dry, you're going to see a very porous, pliable steak. And now it's ready to take on any flavor we want to give it. Today we're going to go with Old Reliable with these steaks. We're going to do salt and pepper, and then a couple of herbs. We're going to use garlic minced in the grease that we baste with, and the oil, and some rosemary. For our oil, we're going to use olive oil and bacon grease combination. The next step is cooking. It's important to understand with grass-fed beef, the cook times on steaks are faster. So we're only going to put these in about 4 minutes. Down it goes. We're going to get that crust on the bottom. We're going to let that steak separate itself from the cast iron, and we're going to baste it as it cooks. And then we're going to flip it at 4 minutes. We're going to do the same thing with the other side. We're looking for that crust and that separation that it does on its own. And we're going to cook these to a medium rare. When we pull these off and put them on the plate, we're going to set them aside. It's important to let those steaks rest for about 5 to 8 minutes. That's going to have the juices come out, and then they're going to go back in and redistribute it into the steak. And if you've come this far, go that extra 5 to 8 minutes and let that rest happen before you cut into it, and you'll be well rewarded. And so we're just going to cut across there like that. If you can see, oh man, that's pretty. It's just coming right apart. One thing, there's a big myth about grass-fed beef not having any marbling, and it's not going to marble as well as a grain-finished product, but there is marbling when you use the right genetics and you use the right breeds. Our operation is heavily Angus influenced, and it shows up in the steaks just like that. And look at that. And if you look, there's nothing running off around the plate. That's fresh cut right after the rest. And a lot of people won't eat a steak what I consider properly, where you're going to get the most tender, maximized flavor, and it's because there's some things that gross them out about a medium rare steak. And when you have beef that's been hung and aged properly, you don't have all those factors, and you're not blending with all the foods that are on the plate. You just have beautiful steak, cooked medium rare, just the way it should be, all the flavor, and none of the other. And just really. So Sean, get a fork. We're gonna let you have this and give us your first impression. You are welcome to do so. So here you go.